All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Final Point podcast. I am your host, Adriel, with my co host, Josh. And we are here with an emergency podcast to let you guys know, to let everyone know that the biggest trade of maybe NBA history happened last
Yeah,
night. And
crazy.
let's just get into it. I mean,
I'm still in shock.
Luka to the Lakers was something I didn't even think was a real. I didn't think it was real, man. Like I looked at it last night and I was very hesitant of sending it to you because I was like, man,
Yeah,
this is probably fake.
dude. When you sent me that text, you're it was crazy because Adrian sent me the same text too, and I'm like, there's no way that we're reading this right. Shams got hacked
Yeah, that's what I was
because
thinking too.
that's the most Shams got hacked tweet that you could think of, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah,
who else you could put in there? Like Shay, I mean,
yeah,
maybe you can put in, Ann Edwards, Tatum, but dude, I could not believe it. I didn't want to believe it.
no, yeah. I didn't think it was real for a bit, but once I saw Chris Haynes confirm it, that's how when realization kind of set in. So Luka's is a Laker now. Luka's been
It doesn't
traded
even
for.
sound right to say.
I know it doesn't feel right. It doesn't. Nothing about it feels right. AD is now a Maverick, along with Max Christie and a 2029 first round pick, with Utah Jazz receiving. I think they got like Jalen Hood, Serfino.
Can you put the details up?
Yeah, I can gather that up for us really quick.
Uh,
But
it,
it,
it, it, it,
I'm
it-
gonna come out.
Quality player, and the Mavs should have sent over either Lively or Gafford along with Luca.
Mhm.
How they landed on Markieff Morris and Maxi Kleber is beyond me. I don't understand that. You see, it's some of these details that have, if you're a diehard Mavs fan, it's some of these details that just have you baffled. If there were some additional players to go with
Yeah,
Luca, then it makes sense. But you gave him Markieff Morris and Maxi Kleber. I mean, what the fuck is that?
yeah, yeah.
Dude,
And
I mean, it just makes no sense to me.
and the other
Do
weird
they
thing
know
about
something we don't know?
yeah, and that's the other weird thing about this trade is that like this they didn't make him available. They specifically went straight to the Lakers for the
Don't give the
trade.
detail. Yeah.
Now I just like if you imagine right now if the whole NBA knew that Luka was on the move, the amount of deals or the amount of proposed deals that the Mavericks could have gotten could have easily outbidded this trade.
This smells shady.
It
It was
does, right?
it was a backdoor deal. Um, f- I'm almost certain, and I'm a huge Anthony Davis fan, and I'm gonna go into it in a minute. That's why I think the Mavs won this trade for the next possibly 1 year to 2 years, given certain circumstances, and why I think the Lakers won this long term. But um, if they would have put Luca out on the market and heard the offers, I'm certain that they would have came up with something better than this.
For sure.
They didn't even give anybody a chance to offer anything. That's the part that has everyone thinking this is shady,
Yeah.
because for Mavs to only make Luca available to the Lakers, it just smells like tampering.
It's just
And
something
we have
doesn't
to start
seem
asking
right.
questions. Yeah, these questions have to be brought up. Why to the Lakers? Why no one else had a chance to bid for Luca? Because I can think of three players off the top that I think the Mavs could get for Luca that are in top 10. One of them that comes to mind real quick is for sure Ann Edwards, right? I mean, if you went up, if you approached the Timberwolves with a Luca for Ant straight up, you don't think that they're gonna make that?
Yeah, I mean it's
I mean,
very
they're gonna
well
think about it
possible.
at least, right?
Yeah, yeah, but it's definitely very well possible.
Devin
I'm,
Booker,
yeah, that's
who's a
another
better
one.
fit. He's a better fit with the Mavs than Luca would be. You could just plug him in at the two spot, and you got Kyrie, Booker. Clay. So there's so many options that they could have went with. It makes no sense that they didn't even give the opportunity for any suitors
And
to
the,
even make an offer.
and the thing too, the Lakers didn't. The Lakers could have given up Dalton Connect or even Austin Reeves.
The fact that both teams kept a lot of their depth
Yeah,
screams that this was a backdoor deal simply involving AD and Luka, right? Because you would think Austin Reeves is in that deal, Dalton Connect in that deal. They kept Rui Hachimura.
exactly. That's another one.
The Mavs kept everyone,
Hmm.
gave up nothing but just Luka. I got
I,
news for you guys. This trade was more about Luka for Anthony Davis and that 2029 first round pick. Those are the key subject lines for this trade. Markieff Morris is probably gonna get bought out. He probably's not gonna
yeah,
see it. I mean, they have so many. They
hasn't
have
even been
they have a
playing.
few wings over there. In LA, maybe they can use him because they're gonna need the depth. But I mean, because they're giving up Max Christie. But you got to think the Lakers aren't done, right?
No, no, they're
This
probably
is
good.
just a small piece. This is just a big piece of the puzzle that just broke off, and
They're gonna be
we are
center
gonna see.
hunting.
Yeah, yeah.
They need a center now. They're now missing size. I don't know who you get. I mean, I mean, we saw recently PJ Tucker and Mo Bamba go out from the Clippers. So do they explore maybe Mo Bamba on the buyout? I mean,
I don't know about
not saying it's a not
Bamba.
saying it's a good it's a good acquisition, but who knows? I mean, they are in need of a
You
center
got
right now.
you got Brooke Lopez, who's been looming. One one name that stood out to me that has been in trade rumors now for the past couple months is Walker Kessler in the Jazz.
Yes,
Walker Kessler has been rumored to be on the move, and it just seems to me that
and a deal has already
there's
been
still a couple,
facilitated.
right? There's still a couple uh, trades to go down before February 6th, and I wouldn't be surprised if Walker Kessler is a Laker February 7th, because that just makes the most sense. They need a big, right? And Jackson Hayes is not really healthy right now.
Hmm.
So where do you go? And listen, we all know already how LeBron operates with these moves. Soon as one move happens, there's always secondary and third moves to go down, right? When he got traded, when he went to the Cavs, you saw how Kevin Love joined,
Yep.
right? And no one saw that coming. So I expect a couple more pieces to
To
be
fall into
added
place.
and to be moved around in the league. You can't help but to think De'Aaron Fox is going to be involved. Not to say that De'Aaron Fox is going to LA, but as a third team. So I'm just curious as to what is next and who else is on the move, because no one is safe. Everyone is
It's up for
on
grabs
the
now.
table. If Luka can get traded, anyone can get traded.
And Luka just took this team to the finals last year. I mean, that's just it's just insanity to just give up your star player like that. But
Hey,
in their eyes, it's gonna make them more competitive. It is what it is.
yeah.
Me personally, and along with Mad fans, don't think this was the best trade that could have gone down. I think honestly, the trade doesn't make. It's not that it doesn't make sense. What doesn't make sense is what both teams are receiving for the amount of talent that is going into play.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis is still a really good player, and it has been having a pretty good season this year. And Luka's generational talent.
Dude, but Mavs fans, I understand you have every right to be mad, but once you calm down and you start thinking clearly and understand that it's already done, right? So now what do we get? You're getting one of the most dominant defensive presences in the NBA today in Anthony Davis. He is a game-changing rim protector. He can guard pretty much 1 through 5. Okay, he may not be defensive player of the year tier because probably Wemby's is probably gonna have that award the next couple years, but for sure Anthony Davis is one of the best defensive players on earth right now. And now you pair him up with two more centers and a deep Dallas Mavericks team. We have Kyrie Irving playing probably some of the best basketball he's played uh, in
in
about
recent years.
maybe two, 3 seasons. We are seeing Kyrie uh, be more comfortable. I always said that the Mavs look different when Luka was on the bench. We've talked about it on this podcast.
Yep.
I've never been a fan of the ball hog Luka, of you're not doing anything else on the offensive side of the court. You're definitely not doing nothing on the defensive end, but you don't bring much to the offensive side of the court unless on the offensive side of the ball unless you have the ball in your hands, and that's going to be a problem. It's hard to win that way. And I'm just going to put it out there because I know you're not going to say it, but the Celtics have broken up a few potentially franchises here. I mean, we dismantled the Brooklyn Nets and whatever that experiment was. We have dismantled the Mavs. The Luka Magic Mavs are no more because of the Celtics. That has to be said. We exposed the Mavs last year, and I know there's a lot of Celtic haters that don't want to admit that, but that's just the reality of it. Go back and watch. Luka looked lost on defense. He didn't know what to do. He can't stay in front of the ball. Okay, he's an awful help side defensive teammate. Okay, he doesn't hustle on defense. You have to think to yourself, did any of this matter? For them to make a trade like this, I know it catches us off guard, but maybe they've been talking about the stuff that we were talking about. They've been talking about it for a long time in the front office, and they were just looking for for a time to pull the trigger. And Luka's been injured, right? And he's heavy. I think he's the heaviest he's ever been.
Yeah, I think he's around 260, 270 right now.
Maybe could it be this? The Mavs weren't really sold on Luka for the next 3-4 years being their franchise player, paying him almost $500 million.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, you take that into consideration. I mean, as also as great as Anthony Davis is, I think you kind of get the same availability you get sometimes from Luka, but for the most part, Anthony Davis did say he wanted to play with another big. He got his other bigs now.
Yeah. He's getting exactly what he wanted. He waived his trade kicker.
Yep.
So when I heard that, I know there's another move on the way. He knows that he wasn't going to win anymore with the Lakers, but he's going to help them out.
Yeah, and he's gonna. There has to be another move coming because that would have put them at least. I think it was like $5 million over the cap. They got someone cooking this Thursday, which everybody out there will probably either Thursday or Friday. There will be a pod for trade deadline, but this upcoming trade deadline might be one of the most interesting trade deadlines we've had in recent years.
Does this change anything, right? Do you have teams that were having discussions that were just in the preliminary stages? Does this do teams start up those discussions again because the West has shifted? In my opinion, right now, and you can you can agree to disagree. The Mavs match up very well with OKC.
No.
Yes.
Not now, at least. Maybe we got to give it some time, but right now, I don't think so. No.
They have way more size than OKC. Right now, you have an Anthony Davis at the 4, roaming around, knowing that he has rim protector behind him in Gafford, and when Lively gets back, in Lively, you have twin towers. These are 7-footers that are going to be rotating like a fine, well-oiled machine back there. You can only think where they go from here, what kind of other moves they make. But right now, until they play, we're not really gonna know. But I think if the Mavs are healthy, they match up well with everyone in in the West, and
Yeah,
especially with people in the East, except for the Celtics, because you still don't have wings that can defend Jalen Brown and Jason Tatum, and that's the problem that most teams run into. But if you have a team like the Cavs, right? Um, Now you match up well with their bigs. That Evan Mobley, uh, that Evan Mobley and Jared Allen combo, you now have a response for that in Anthony Davis and Derek Lively, Anthony Davis and Daniel Gafford, and not to mention PJ. PJ Washington is 6'10".
yeah.
So I'm saying they have the size. I don't know what other moves they're gonna make. You can surely expect something unexpected that is going to come in the trade deadline. I was thinking, I mean, we can see Derek White or Drew Holiday on the move because we need a big. I don't know if that's going to happen at the trade deadline, but you can expect that because Dallas now has one big to get. Technically, they have one big to trade, either Lively or Gafford. One of them you can afford to let go to bring in some more defense because you don't have defense with Kyrie Irving, that's for sure. And with Klay Thompson, you need
And
to shore up
Grimes
your
isn't
defense.
a good
Someone like
shooter
Drew
either.
Holiday or Derek White or Marcus Smart, they fit in well with that team because you're gonna need someone to do some of that dirty work.
Yeah, this definitely stirs the pot for Thursday. Uh, I think what we're this type of deals, these 3 team to 5 team deals are gonna be the new norm in the NBA, due to all the CBA restrictions. So I'm 100% sure with now the Jimmy trade that's been looming, the De'Aaron Fox that's been looming, there's going to be a massive, massive organization, I think, between teams on Thursday, trying to just ship off players. Um, who's in that mix?
Hey,
I can't. I don't even think we can predict anymore who's in the mix now,
no,
just
no, no,
because of
no.
last
This
night's
is
trade.
so crazy. And the Miami Heat are now on the clock. They have exactly what 5 days
Yeah,
to trade Jimmy.
96
So
hours.
96 hours to trade Jimmy. Something is going down. You would think that they would find a deal to make um Jimmy to the Lakers.
Oh well, let me just say this.
Would you guys take Reeves?
Sure, but this I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't even have hope for Thursday. I don't think I'm on record right now saying I don't even think they trade him Thursday. I think he sits out for the whole rest of the season and he walks next season. That's what I see going on because if we're still to this day
He has to
and
play.
this and
He has
this
to
got
play.
done and this got done last night like the way it got done and we're still waiting on Jimmy trying to find a suitor for him, I feel like this doesn't get done. And also that is the most Miami Heat thing to come out of like uh, as a result is what I'm trying to say. Like this is the most like likely thing that could happen to us is that he doesn't get traded this season. Um, Now De'Aaron Fox, I could see that one getting done hopefully by Thursday because I think that is a little bit more flexible and teams are willing to go after Fox.
Yeah,
But yeah, man, this trade
crazy.
is gonna go down with how crazy KD going to the Warriors was, how LeBron going to the Heat was. This is up there in one of like the most craziest or the craziest trade I've ever seen, probably in NBA history.
Yeah, this is gonna go down as one of those moments like where were you when the Mavericks traded Luca?
Yeah.
And listen, but depending on how this goes, right? It's not gonna be one sided. If the Mavs make it to the finals this year and win a championship in the next 3 years, then regardless to what Luca does, the Mavs will always they won't be looked at as a team that fumbled Luca because they got what they wanted out of it. Even if it's not 3, 4, 5 years down the line, like Mavs were hoping to have Luca. No one thought Luca was leaving Dallas, but you can't think about what LA's cooking if you're the Mavs. You have to win. Nico Harris. if Nico Harris, if the Mavs do not make it to the finals, Nico Harris, you got to call for his. I mean, they're gonna call for his head
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Dallas. I think they were
And
having a funeral. They were having a funeral ceremony last time I checked on X. So, dude, you got to at least make the finals in order to get these Mavs fans off your back, right?
no,
You got
yeah,
to
and
at least expect that.
I think he even mentioned as well at a press conference today of them talking to the trade that he said either he will be buried by the fans or they'll have to bury himself or
Yeah,
along
he's
those
he's
lines.
banking on Anthony Davis to be healthy, and
Hmm.
I'm a huge Ant Davis fan, and I'm hoping he is. I want to see him and Kyrie put on a show in the playoffs. This is a deep Mavs team. I think they have what it takes to at least make it out of the West, make it competitive. At least make it competitive. I don't know about out of the West, but it should be fun. And listen, Mavs Celtics finals rematch is not too out of the question at this point.
Watch it even be crazier than this, than Mavs. Lakers Celtics. Luka gets back to the finals
And he the revenge
with
tour.
Braun.
Fuck outta here. Hell no, it's not gonna happen.
That was the first thing that went to
Hey,
my head
it
when I
is,
saw that he said he was going to the Lakers. I was like, man, this dude might end up
but
back.
you know what though, man, it is kind of scary to think about because people are saying, you know, how does LeBron and Luca pair up? LeBron is
I think they
40.
pair up amazing.
LeBron is 40. This is gonna help LeBron. It takes the load off of him. Now you
A
have
lot.
someone running the point, and LeBron is orchestrating the offense with Luca, almost like
Like a roamer.
like a co point guard sort of scenario where the only players that you can think can make that work is someone like LeBron that can make that work because he's
He,
adaptable. He can play however. He could play
he's
four. He could play
he's
three.
gonna be a free safety now,
Yeah.
pretty
So
much.
I mean, and you can't help but to think that this is gonna work. So I'm curious to see how this all plays out. We are all shocked. Thank you, Nico Harris and Rob Pelinka for keeping this quiet the way they did. In today's era, we know that that's not really the norm. Someone's gonna leak it, and the fact that it didn't leak is
Yeah.
crazy. And shout out to Shams, man. This was Shams. This was Shams. How do they say it? The your feather in the cap. This is it.
He pretty much just like
He took over the
went.
Woj. Yeah, this
Yeah,
was the Woj.
yeah,
This is his
instantly.
Woj bomb moment.
Yeah, this was the one to cover all the Woj bombs that have happened already throughout the years. This was the one that went over that now.
For sure.
So as we end this show, we're gonna have a quick moment of silence for the Mavs fans.
Nah, man. I think they're gonna be fine,
Exactly.
dude.
We're not gonna have a moment of silence. We're actually gonna
Yo,
look
you
at
know
this
what? And
game.
Mavs fans deserve this shit because they was
I
talking crazy
I was just about to say that as
all off season during the during the playoffs. In the finals, they were talking crazy. Listen, y'all deserve this. Hold this L, Mavs Nation. Hold it.
the Rose.
It's crazy. They were crashing out on.
I will say I also feel
Yo,
bad
take that
for
picture of J Kid looking like that. He's just you caught him in a moment. He looks so lost.
he didn't even know. I'm sure he's hurting real bad because I know he liked Luca a lot and loved coaching him.
I think Luca was annoying the shit out of him, man. He was ready to get rid of his ass. Look at him.
Man, it. I don't know.
This is awesome, man. Hey, to be continued.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on the emergency pod today. We will be, like I said, we will be throwing out another episode either Thursday or Friday for
Hey,
the
but if
trade
something
deadline.
happens before then, man, we'll be back on.
If De'Aaron Fox is a Heatle, there will be another emergency pod before Thursday.
Yes,
So
sir.
I'm just letting you guys know.
Peace.